Welcome back. So in this video we're gonna take a look at some very basic differences between C and C++ doing a simple hello world. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take a look at two ways of compiling the same basic program, one in C and one in C++, and see if there's any major differences or what the differences could be. So first we're going to take a look at the source files, and this is a simple C program. We're using standard IO, and we're just printing hello world and a line return. Now if we look at the C++ file, it's using IO stream and same thing, printing hello world and an end line. I'm using namespace standard just because the only two items are cout and endline, and they're both in the standard library. Now let's take a look at the build script I made, and we have that C file, the C++ file, and this C++ file is essentially the same as this C file. So I'll show you that it's just the exact same file. So we'll run the build script and see what the differences are with these three files. So first let's take a look at the output file of each of these, the .o file. And we can see that it's about a little less than 1K difference between the C file and the first C++ file, and about a little less than half a K, quarter of a K, about 300 bytes difference between the file compiled as C and as C++. Now let's take a look. Well, let's first make sure all these files run. Okay, that one runs. That one runs. That one runs. They all print out the same thing. They do the basic same function. So now let's look at all the assembly files. And as you can see here, the original C file is 739 bytes. The C++ file assembly from that same source is 804. Now the one using cout is significantly bigger. So let's take a look at the source file. So this is the C source file. Some basic setup. Here's the string, the main function, and pretty much a standard file. Now here there's some more setup than before. So basically some same functions here. Same setup, same script. Now when we get to the main function, then things start getting a little bit bigger. We won't get into the individual assembly. And if we look at test C and test C++2, you can see that just some minor changes on this line. It's just saying the source file name. Here it's ending the end start. And there's some slightly different changes there. So not much in the source file between the C and C++. Now, take a look at this and go, what is really the big deal? And on most modern computers, and even on some older computers, that really wouldn't make much of a difference. The 700, 800 bytes different. Now, as your program gets bigger, and say you're programming on a microcontroller, something with limited space, then this needs to be taken into account. And also using functions and methods and classes wisely. Whereas if you're using printf, then you'd stay with printf unless you needed for some reason not to. Or if you're using cout, use cout consistently. The more times you call a function, it doesn't increase the source, or it doesn't increase the binary file as much, because it will reference back to the same instructions in the subroutine. Whereas if you're calling different functions, then that will cause them to have to load those subroutines into the compiled binary. So it's always good to see if you don't need a function, if you do need a function, and maybe if you're trying to optimize, is maybe if it's something that you can use your own function or a different function, something to take into account. This is just a basic look at some simple changes. This isn't a deep dive into C or C++, just the simple hello world 3 different ways. So if you like content like this, leave me a comment and I will endeavor to make more. Otherwise, you have a great day.